I think there is a coordinated attack on liberty throughout the world, and it's happening through the digital control grid. Every aspect of our lives is being surveilled constantly. We have smart devices around us that are listening through the microphones, through the cameras. And with AI, they're able to take that information and make a profile on you. And with that, they understand you better than you know yourself. And I've got a personal story about that where, about 5, 6 years ago, I was in culinary school and I was having a pretty depressing day. I went to school. And then right after that, I went to work. And the whole day I listened to this song called Rotten Apple by Alice in Chains over and over and over. It's a depressing song. And then I came home from school and I started swiping on TikTok. And then I saw a meme that just slapped me across the face. And it said, when you're a line cook and you listen to Rotten Apple 24/7 and you want to kill yourself.
Hello, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Radio Show. Interesting, we still call ourselves radio when we're now a podcast. But that's how old this show is. It's been 30 years now. And we had terrestrial and satellite radio. It was big time. Now we're podcasting. But anyway, a great show today. We have met Glenn and Eric Meter, father and son team. Met them at the New Orleans Investment Conference. And it's a great place to learn more about the world of money, should I say, mining especially. Gold and silver. Gold and silver is on fire right now. And thank God I started buying silver back in 1965. And I just don't trust the dollar. But anyway, Glenn and Eric have a very special niche. I really don't know that much about it. But it's about Big Brother. And for those who understand Big Brother is how is Big Brother spying on you? So with technology accelerating, AI accelerating, that there's more and more access to your private life. And so Glenn and Eric their business per se is how to protect you from Big Brother. And I'd say that's quite important because I'm just me. And I'm surprised at how many people are trying to get in to my world. And I don't know how to defend myself because you can't see them. In other words, Big Brother is alive and well, but we can't see them. And how do you protect your privacy? That is the big issue. So welcome, Glenn and Eric.
Thank you very much for having us. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you.
Well, it's my honor because you're a father and son team. You guys educate together. You were with Robert Helms and his goal show. I mean, not goals, how to set goals. And I've never done his course. I should do it. It's a great course, I've heard. But it's neat that father and son study together. And I think that is very commendable. Very, very commendable.
Thank you. Well, I grew up reading your books every Sunday. I'd play cash flow with my friends, with Glenn. So, this is really surreal. And you're definitely one of my biggest heroes. So it's awesome to be here.
Well, it's the feeling is mutual. I mean, what you guys are doing as father and son is exemplary. Because,
thank you.
Anyway, I won't get into father and son relationships because, as you know, my story is rich dad, poor dad. I had one dad that was rich and one dad that was poor, and never the twain shall meet.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what about Big Brother? What do you guys know? What is happening on surveillance? And then I guess CBDC, central bank digital currency, would fit in there. And what do we have to be afraid of or be cautious of? Or how do you guys protect people from Big Brother?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there is a coordinated attack on liberty throughout the world, and it's happening through the digital control grid. Every aspect of our lives is being surveilled constantly. We have smart devices around us that are listening through the microphones, through the cameras. And with AI, they're able to take that information and make a profile on you. And with that, they understand you better than you know yourself. And I've got a personal story about that where, about 5, 6 years ago, I was in culinary school and I was having a pretty depressing day. I went to school. And then right after that, I went to work. And the whole day I listened to this song called Rotten Apple by Alice in Chains over and over and over. It's a depressing song. And then I came home from school and I started swiping on TikTok. And then I saw a meme that just slapped me across the face. And it said, when you're a line cook and you listen to Rotten Apple 24/7 and you want to kill yourself. And Glenn had told me about privacy and stuff. I understand how social media works with For You feeds, but that was so targeted. I mean, it really, really creeped me out. It was like a Twilight Zone episode. And that's what made me inspired to work with my father and understand this on a deeper level. But if you think about it, my phone's with me all the time. It's listening to what I say. It has Spotify on it, so it knows I'm listening to that song. It knows my location, so it sees that I'm at school. And it can create this profile to manipulate me in ways that have never been possible before with propaganda.
Wait. Are you saying that this, whatever it was getting kids to kill themselves?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, tell me about that. I've never heard of that. What is that?
So basically, the way it works, AI works, Glenn always explains it like Google Maps. So with Google Maps, let's say I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I want to go to Chicago. I put in those two locations and it can take me there. And it does that for everyone in the world. So let's say my mental state is good. If they know my profile, they can figure out how to send me down a personalized rabbit hole to depravity. And that's why we're seeing such massive radicalization with the youth, is because in the past, propaganda has always been a thing. You know, the printing press, radio, TV, that allowed for mass propaganda. But now with surveillance technology, with the detailed profiles, there's mass individual propaganda where people are able to go down personalized rabbit holes that take them to a end result, which is depravity and radicalization. And I really think that's why the youth is becoming so radicalized in many different ways.
And also commit suicide, possibly.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of lawsuits now that are happening against ChatGPT, where ChatGPT has convinced teenagers to kill themselves, and they have. And the what Eric's talking about here is that was TikTok, and TikTok has a built-in AI that that controls the algorithms. What do people see? And that is not random. That is, the AI watches you and it learns you. It understands your emotional state, and it can be programmed to take you to a certain mental or emotional state. And so you can imagine President Xi of China saying, okay, we want to destabilize the teens in the West and bring them down this rabbit hole of despair, radicalization, and suicide. And I believe that's what's happening in TikTok, but that shows you the power of AI.
So, I mean, so as Eric, where they
Yes.
targeted you, and did you feel yourself actually getting more depressed or upset, or what were you going through?
I mean, yes, I was in a very bad point in my life already. And I was very depressed. I was very anxious, but everything I saw affirmed it. And so I was able to notice that because it was too blatant. Like, I mean, when you're a line cook, I was a line cook. Listen to Rotten Apple 24/7 and you want to kill yourself. I mean, that was too on the nose, where it kind of like shook me out of it. And I was able to see, like, you know, what the heck is this? This is crazy. But what happens with these memes is they use humor and relatability, and what they're able to do is they slowly, in a way that you can't see, shape how you view the world. And again, I think that's why people are so radicalized. I mean, they're really turning, I mean, kids don't watch the news. A lot of kids don't read. And what they do is they just get fed this information, and it slowly just changes how they see the world.
So, I'm going to find out more. It's kind of beyond Big Brother, and they can control. Oh, who is they? That's my biggest question. I a lot of the YouTube I watch, and so there's a they. Now, who's they? And why?
So if you look at what's going on in the world right now, there is a global push to push digital IDs. And digital ID is something that will anchor you to anchor your identity to everything that you do online. And this is what every country around the world, and we can see this especially in the UK, but it's every country is doing this online. Well, in the US, it's happening in the States with these online child safety acts. As you know, when they push these laws, the name of the act is exactly opposite of what it actually does. So the online child safety acts are not about keeping you safe or keeping your children safe. It's about digital surveillance online. And they need to have this in place before they do the CBDC. So they're going to do the CBDC, which will be a control mechanism for each of us. But the first step is the digital ID. And so there you can see this globally coordinated event effort. And it is a combination. It's a collusion between Big Brother, the World Economic Forum, big tech, Oracle, Google, all of these, Apple, all of them are doing this
Why?
to control us. This is the control grid. So this is the ultimate control mechanism that every tyrant throughout history would love to have. And it is, they're going to be able to see every single thing we do, everything that we read, every post that we make, every response, how we respond, all of that stuff. And they're going to be able to control us, show us what they want to show us, give us. It's like surgical propaganda is really what it is.
Okay, so
And it's not just sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's not just propaganda either. It's about surveillance and it's control. And I really consider it digital collectivism, really. I mean, you look at the UK, there's a report that says there's 30 people being arrested for their posts on social media. So for example, if they're against every day. And so if they're against immigration, you post it online, someone's going to come with a black van at night and take you to jail. And like Glenn told you before, I live in Budapest, and what I see there is the remnants of communism. And communism relies on people snitching on each other. I mean, you couldn't trust your family members because they're designed to turn on you. But with this control grid in place, you don't need that human element because your phones are listening. They know what you type. They know what you text people. And once you have this digital ID, every action is constantly judged by all of these devices. It's really based off of what China has in place right now, which is the Chinese social credit system.
Yeah.
So
it's
again,
a new world.
Yeah. So who is they? Who is Big Brother?
It's the collusion between the elites, the behind the scenes elites like Tony Blair. Tony Blair has been behind this for a long time.
Yep.
John Kerry. There's a lot of people, the World Economic Forum, the governments around the world. I think one of the things that is happening that is taking the time, the reason they're not just rolling it out all at once is because just as the Federal Reserve is a cartel of banks, what they're doing now is they're going country by country to really get a cartel of the bad, powerful people and get that system in place. And they're the ones that are working on this behind the scenes.
You know, I still know who they is or why they want to do it. But I just saw that Newsom of California, they're going to they're going to put a control tax on everything you own. So it goes not only surveillance, but to figure out what you own, they're going to need that surveillance.
Yeah.
Then they can tax it. They can tax it. So you see the pieces of it, but I don't know who they is yet. I was talking to a friend. He's a very, very good friend for years. He didn't make any sense today. I mean, he went so radical liberal. He's an ex-Marine pilot. He went so radically liberal. I mean, it didn't, 1 + 1 didn't fit who he's become in the last 5 or 6 years. But I mean, he was already kind of leaning liberal, but now he's a whack job. It makes no sense. He can't put 1 + 1 together. And so I'm wondering if that's what you're talking about. They target, or they search for the weak or the inclined to be programmed, should we say. And we all are.
Yep.
To get us on something that they can get to our heart and soul in. Is that what kind of Big Brother is? They figure out your core strengths and weaknesses and pet peeves and things that'll piss you off or upset you, and they go after that, and they get into your heart and soul.
Absolutely. Yeah. I actually have made like an entire passion project around trying to teach the youth about how to avoid this manipulation. It's just, you're exactly right. I mean, there's articles talking about how Facebook has sold advertisers lists of teens that are deemed insecure. And so, first of all, why is Facebook, targeting kids that are insecure or profiling them as insecure? And then why would they want to sell that data? It's because, like you said, they're vulnerable, and vulnerable people can be malleable to propaganda and agendas.
Okay. So we tell you, Glenn and Eric, we've now identified Big Brother as they, whoever they are, and who they target. But when we come back, you guys have programs to, it's almost, I hate, is it self-defense or to not be programmable or to
Yes.
how to know when you're being programmed. So when we come back with the Rich Dad Show, we'll be talking to Glenn and Eric Meter about the Big Brother attack upon our privacy, our lives, everything. We'll be right back.
If you heard my earlier message, here's the part most people don't want to hear. The system isn't collapsing overnight, it's cracking slowly. Banks are taking homes, debt is growing faster than incomes, and global investors are pulling money out of the U.S. because trust is fading. They call it Sell America. I call it the warning phase. This is what happens when governments spend money they don't have. Central banks create money out of nothing, and savers quietly lose purchasing power every year. Gold and silver don't move because of the headlines, they move because confidence dies. That's why they beat stocks last year, and that's why they're making new highs now. I've watched the cycle repeat for decades. Every time people wait for certainty, and every time certainty comes after it's too late. Wealth defense isn't about predicting the next crash. It's about understanding how money behaves when the rules change. That's why Priority Gold created the Rich Dad Wealth Defense Guide. It explains what's breaking, why it matters, and how gold and silver can be held properly inside IRAs and 401ks when done correctly. No hype, no promises, just reality. Call 866-703-9895 or text guide to the number 24999 and the free guide will be sent straight to your phone. Think for yourself because the system won't warn you before it fails. Again, call 866-703-9895 or text guide to 24999.
Welcome back, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Radio Show. Our guest today, Glenn and Eric Meter. We're talking about Big Brother, the advancement of, let's say, AI for a general term, and surveillance, but how it can really radicalize or even program some people to take suicide or actually take somebody else's life, possibly. So you get programmed to be a robot. And I met Glenn and Eric at the New Orleans Investment Conference, and that's a great program for those who are in my business, which is mining, not Bitcoin mining, but I own gold mines. I used to own a silver mine, lost it. I didn't lose it. I sold that one. But I'm going to be at the VRIC, the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference, on January 25th and 26th. So if you want to come and find out more about this world of silver and gold, which is my world, because it's hard to program silver and gold, maybe it is. But anyway, I'll be speaking at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference, January 25th and 26th. So we're talking about Big Brother and surveillance. You guys have a company, solutions for it. What can a person do to protect themselves from Big Brother?
So the first thing is awareness. You have to become aware of what the issue is. You have to be aware of the threats that face you online. And so we talk about Big Brother, but it's big tech, and then there's hackers and scammers, and they all want the same thing. They all want your data. And then they take your data and they weaponize your data against you. So you have to really figure out how to not give them your data. And really, there's things that you can learn, there's skills that you can do, but there's mindset things, there's tools that you can use, all of that stuff. And I'll give you an example here. Might be a little bit more advanced, but I think it's very important that you change the computer that you use, because computers, so Windows now has Copilot on it. Copilot is built-in AI on your computer. It takes a screenshot every second, and the AI that lives on your computer analyzes that, and it's doing that for a purpose, and it's doing that to learn about you. And this is part of this whole thing that they're doing. Apple does this, Windows does this, and so Linux. I mean, I think it's very important that this is not maybe the first step, but eventually people should move over to Linux. And there's some very good, Linux is a different operating system, but it's really good. Nowadays, it's very good. And there's specific versions of Linux that we recommend. But that is a way to stop the surveillance on you that's happening every second.
So one last, well, some of my, that's far beyond my pay grade in Linux and all that stuff.
Okay.
I barely turn on my cell phone. But that's the one thing I noticed when I go into a retail outlet. They say, "May I have your phone number?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that part of it too?
Yeah, absolutely.
What
So
would you
I
say?
never give them my phone number. I always do like my area code and then 8675309 or just 5555555 or something like that. But yeah, you're right. You don't want to give them your phone number.
Yeah, what they're trying to buy is your purchasing patterns. I mean, that's data that they want to know. And I think it was Kroger, right? I mean, Kroger made a ridiculous amount of money on the data. I mean, it's not, I think it was like over 10% of like all their profit. I don't know exactly on the number.
$700 million is what Kroger makes on selling your data.
Wow. Yeah.
So I have a bad habit as I shop online. Does that open me up again?
Yeah, I mean, so there's two threats to that. I mean, one, like what we just said with Kroger, is they want to collect your data, but then the other side is hackers and scammers and thieves. And so what people make the mistake of is they reuse their password, they use their real credit or debit card, they use their email address for everything, and then basically, if one of those get compromised, all of them are compromised. So what we do personally is we have a service that creates a fake email address for everyone that we use, and it actually forwards it to our email address. We use burner debit cards for every transaction. It's actually super easy once you use the software, and basically we have no threat vector because we've obfuscated like all of the data. If I purchase something, it just says, Will Smith and a different card number than mine and a different email address. So I don't have any threat really.
But if we can keep it simple, let's just keep it simple right now. So the first thing you should do is maybe use the Brave browser instead of Chrome or instead of Safari, something like that. Don't use Google.com, use the Brave search engine. Those are two things that I think are very good. De-Google yourself. Just learn how to get away from Google. I think that would be a very big step too.
Yeah. And one of the most simple things you can do is just have a webcam cover. And there's also another thing called a microphone blocker where it blocks the microphone from spying on you. But low tech and hardware solutions like, a webcam cover that stops the camera from working, that's fantastic because, you can't hack a webcam cover off.
So what service do you guys provide? Because here I am going, okay, so if that stops me from being an online shopper, and then I go to the retail outlet, they get my credit card there anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
We're wide open.
Yeah.
And so it's to say, don't use your credit card, that's kind of ridiculous. Or don't give you, there's only so much you can do on that side. So what service do you guys provide that, on how they get in touch with you, should I say?
So we teach people how to do it in bite-sized steps. I mean, the biggest problem that people make is they try to jump into the deep end. They want to get a Linux computer or a phone. They want to do it all at once, and it's not right. I mean, you want to take baby steps. You want to take bite-sized pieces, and then you can go as far as you want. I don't believe in like elitism with privacy. There's a lot of people that say, "Oh, you have to do everything or it's worthless." The key is you figure out your threat model, whatever you want to do, and then take the steps needed. And so that's what we help with. Go ahead.
We have a
How do
website.
they get in touch with Glenn and Eric Meter? How do they get in touch with you guys? How do they access
privacyacademy.com.
Yeah.
privacyacademy.com?
Yes.
And what do you get for that?
We have a series. It's all about education. So we have a series of courses, how to do this, just lessons. We have recorded lessons. We have live lessons, and we can work with you one-on-one, but we can help you learn how to protect yourself from online hackers, thieves, and scammers, big tech, and big brother. All three of them are very important to protect yourself against, and that's what we show you how to do.
How much does that cost?
The core program, well, we've got different programs, but $49 a month is really the core program.
$49 a month, and does it protect you, or what does it do?
It gives you access to the training that allows you to protect yourself. Yeah.
The training, but it doesn't protect you without the training.
Well, the first thing you need to know is you need to know how to think about this. And there are just certain things that you need to do and ways to think and understand how to stop the data flow.
Yeah.
So
The
that's what
training
it's
is
really
to understand the problem.
Yes,
Understand.
and the solution. We teach you how to use the software. Like if you do want to use a Linux computer, we'll show you how to load it onto your own device, transition over to it. So uh, the problem and then also the solution aspect of it.
That was Hackers Academy again? Oh, well, Privacy Academy.
Privacy Academy. Yeah. Privacyacademy.com.
Yeah, don't go to Hackers Academy.
Everybody signed up for that one, wouldn't they?
Yep.
Anyway, it's such a brave new world we live in. And Big Brother is watching. What you're saying is disturbing.
Yep.
Especially since, you're vulnerable everywhere.
Yes.
I have this one friend who started thing to protect the kids' iPhones from porno, whatever they put on those things. But before you could lock your door. Now you can't lock your door.
Yeah.
Because it just come right through. So, any final words there? Anything else you would like to advise people what they should know, what you see coming, and what the threats are?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the threat is that everything is becoming centralized. And so I define a smart device as the ability to surveil you and then the ability to control you. And a good way to look at that is like, if you look at a car from the 80s, it's very simple. You turn the ignition, the car turns on, you turn the wheels turn. But now it's a computer on wheels. So what does that mean? It can be controlled like a computer can. And so they can limit how far you drive. They can limit how fast you drive. They can limit everything because it is a smart device. And what's happening is all of these data points are centralizing. And that means all the centralized power is going to a small group of people. So right now we're seeing an extreme centralization of power. And basically it's all going to say that privacy is really being ignored right now, but I think it is the biggest issue to liberty. I think it's the backbone to what's creating and could create the most powerful collectivist society ever. And if you care about your personal liberty, I really urge you to learn about the dangers and opt out of that awful future.
And once again, that's called Privacy Academy.
Yes.
Final words, or Glenn? Any words of warning or?
Yeah, I would say that what we talk about, it is kind of a dark topic, but we are optimistic. I think we will be able to preserve liberty. We as a society will be able to preserve liberty if we become aware of this issue and if we take the steps to stop really this digital ID, all of that stuff. So I think we have to get our own house in order, but then we have to work on the state level to stop the digital ID. And so,
okay, so let me ask you this question then. Let's say the Fed comes up with CBDC, central bank digital currency. What can a citizen do?
Yeah, so I think working on a local level, I don't think there's really much we can do on the federal level, unfortunately. I think it's all the local level, the state level. The Constitution supports local and decentralized power structures. So I encourage people to focus on the state level, and we can have local economies that are maybe parallel to the other, to what they want to put in place. But gold, maybe we do gold backs, and
silver.
Yeah. And I think we just have to we have to fight back. We have to ensure that the states protect our rights from the encroachment of the World Economic Forum and the federal government.
That's a big test here. I think I'd rather call privacyacademy.com, right? And I think the step is you have to get more educated to it or more aware of it first.
Yes.
Which is what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So anyway, Big Brother's here. Big Brother's talking to us. And the funny thing is, they have whole banks of my AI now. And I saw an AI of me pop up. And my friend called me and says, "Man, I never saw you sound so intelligent." It was an AI of me. It basically synthesized, 10 things I said down to one important point.
Yeah.
So I thought I was laughing my butt off, but it's not funny at another level. But AI is making more intelligent, even though it's not me. So Glenn and Eric Meter, again, is Privacy Academy. Please go and check them out. I think the first step is, as you guys say, is understand the problem to get educated.
Yep.
Okay. So thanks for your dedication, young men, both men, father and son. And we'll see you around the block. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Such an honor.
And we come back, we'll have a final word from Rich Dad. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Once again, thank you to Eric and Glenn Meter of Privacy Academy. I think the recommendation is solid. Understand the problem first before you do anything. So again, I met them at the New Orleans Investment Conference in New Orleans, and I'll be heading to the VRIC. It won't be an AA of me. I'll really personally be at the VRIC on January 25th and then 26th. And also I'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina, February 3rd for the Aspire Tour. The Aspire Tour in Charlotte, North Carolina, February 3rd. It won't be the AI of me. It'll be the real me. So it is a brave new world. And Big Brother is watching. And I get the funny feeling every time I use my credit card or I'm asked for my phone number, I just don't know what they're going to do. But we all know it's coming. And there's always a good and a bad to everything. But unfortunately, like anything, the bad is more profitable than the good a lot of the times. So it's like, when the worldwide WWW came up, the first thing that popped up on it was porno. And it's because it sells. So with this World Wide Web and Big Brother is watching and all that, it'll do a lot of good. But first comes the bad. So please be aware, be careful. I make no recommendations, but check out the Privacy Academy. And I wholeheartedly endorse the first suggestion. Get educated about what the problem is, because Big Brother is watching. Thank you for watching Rich Dad Radio Show.
This podcast is a presentation of Rich Dad Media Network.